What's up, Gorecasters? Welcome back here to the Gorecast with me, Johnny Deadly, and the rest of my movie moguls surrounded around me as we are doing a slight bit of a different thing tonight. We do have other movies to talk about later on, but we have a very cool, virtual chat room based horror movie event. Sorry, it's a bit glitchy. I think it's just the extra RAM with things running. I'll see if I can resolve it as we get on a little bit, but yes, we have Elizabeth Piperess with us from the movie The Dark Offerings, which is a virtual chat room based horror movie, and a very good one at that, which we were going to be talking about in a moment. But thank you very much for coming on the show and having a chat with us about it.
Thank you for having me. This is really cool.
Yay, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's great to finally meet all of you guys. Buzz, I saw you on Twitter. We met there.
Yeah.
Giz, take it away there just for a sec while I handle some what appears to be production issues.
Oh, okay. But it's okay. Things were happening. You were good. You could have kept doing stuff.
Oh, no, I can't.
Oh, no.
Yeah, just give me a minute. You're all good.
Yeah, so Elizabeth is here to talk with us about the film Dark Offerings, which we are going to be doing a bit of a review on, as well as a few other films which are in similar vein, such as The Host from 2020 and Unfriended Web from 2018.
Yes.
Correct.
Which are for later on.
Yes.
Yes.
But Elizabeth, you have done work on loads of different things. I know that all the rest of them were talking about stuff, but see, here's the thing that caught my eye when I was looking through your stuff. What's Janice and the Golden Fleece?
That is a web series. It started off as just a contest in a local bar down the street, and me and two other people decided to do a short little film. They gave us a couple of different topics that we had to do. We had to do a myth. We got Jason and the Argonauts. And then it had to be future, present, or prequel. And we got prequel to Jason and the Argonauts. And then it had to be set in medieval times. So with all of that, we're like, what are we going to do with this? Because that's just... I don't know what to do with it. So we made it a comedy called Janice and the Golden Fleece. And basically I play Janice, and Janice fights a troll in a very brutal way.
Because there is no other way.
Exactly. And the fleece was actually a yellow bath mat that was spray painted gold.
That's
cheapest
nice.
thing as ever, and it had to be only 3 minutes. So we did a lot in 3 minutes.
Wow.
But it was a lot of fun.
It's very hard to do a whole story in 3 minutes, isn't it?
It is. It really is. But we managed to do it, and it was a blast to do.
You have in your head that it's like, okay, 3 minutes, this is going to be fine. It's just 3 minutes, and then it's just like way too much. I have way too much stuff, and now I only have 3 minutes to put it into.
Yeah, and we told quite a story in those 3 minutes, you know, and then we had like a fighting montage, and then the actual battle, and
must check it out. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining.
But it was just the name that caught my attention. I was just like, oh, Jason and the Argonauts. Oh, that could be.
So, the movie that we actually are here to discuss, which is The Dark Offerings 2020, which has a little kind of cool credit to its name, which it's the first feature film shot during the pandemic, I believe.
It was, yeah. In America, all of the film industry shut down. We were all in our homes and had nothing to do. So I had gotten COVID that March of 2020. Almost died.
Oh God!
Survived from it, and no, it's all right. But it forced me to, do the things I wanted to do in life, and that was to make a movie, and also act. So I sat down with the director, and we wrote it out, and then got all of our people together, and did it.
It's some accomplishment, because to keep
Thank you.
and it's where some of the other movies I think of that kind of genre, as I said, the kind of the virtual horror style movie kind of lacked was it's very hard to keep a movie fully engaging for the full hour 20 or whatever feature length level it is, and keep it 100% locked in that kind of, just like this kind of podcast format, while also trying to tell a story and not have it feeling any little bit mundane or lagging in bits. And one of the things, as I said before we went on air to you, that I thought was a credit to this movie was the pacing of this was high octane, in my opinion, to say the least. There's like a little bit of 10 minutes in the middle where you guys are doing your background story, which is, that has to happen. And then everything else is, it's so good. It's brilliant. Sorry, not to say that the background story bit wasn't good either, because it was it all fitted in really good, but it's the, as I said, just pacing wise, I found it really riveting.
I really appreciate that. We had an excellent editor tighten it up for us, whose name is Jordan, and he did an awesome job, cutting out like anything that could be cut out, and just, keeping it to the suspense, the story, even that we tried to cut down, but with the format that we shot, it was pretty complicated because we had to all shoot everybody at the same time, and we're reacting off of each other. So once that take happened, it's hard to cut everything down again. So it was tricky to say like, okay, well, maybe right here we can just cut this whole big gap out. So thank you for saying that, because that was definitely something that we wanted to do, was just keep the pace up of the scares and just keep the interest for everybody.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, it was pacing wise it was absolutely amazing. And something else I have to mention as well is, like, obviously due to this being during the lockdowns and everything in pandemic times, that the makeup and special effects, because presumably everyone kind of had to do their own makeup, I would assume.
Because that was
Pretty
going to be
much.
my question, is if, like, how did you pull off the special effects and stuff like that?
So it was a couple of scenes. The majority of the shoot took place when everybody couldn't see anybody. So what I did was I gave everybody gift baskets of blood and the props that they were going to need.
Oh, that is awesome.
Like
It's just the gift that keeps on giving.
Cups. I know, right? And then like certain the special effects, or like, the special effects that we did for this, I put it all in a gift basket and just, put it on their doorstep and like, hey, it's right outside. Go ahead and pick it up.
And then
Just a vision of a Mission Impossible phone call.
And then just going to have to talk them through, like, how to use it and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. All the actors did their own regular beauty makeup. And then with the special effects scenes, especially with the blood, I would walk them through, like, putting it on, like where to put everything. And then thankfully they used my blood, which washes out of everything. So it didn't destroy anybody's stuff, because it did get on some paintings and everything. But thankfully, she was able to wash it off, and everything was fine.
Question, actually, is it like
It's not a horror movie if blood doesn't get
Oh, no,
out
it has
there.
to happen.
That's just
Right? I agree. I agree.
Is it like
completely.
do you do your own kind of personal brand of blood, or is it like you have it like a custom recipe that you just bottled up and sent to people?
Both. I sell my blood. It's called Cine Blood Typo. It washes out of everything. I sell it to I sold it to Evil on CBS. Jacob's wife used it.
Oh, cool.
And Enemy Within used it for their wardrobe department.
Savage.
So people are liking it. It's starting to get out there.
Well,
but it's I like
from
it.
like using from the couple of like short films I've done where there was a lot of mandatorily a lot of blood involved. It's a sticky, messy very unwashable affair normally. So if you can get
I've
something
still
where,
got it
oh
out
look,
in
I can
Santa
actually
hat.
probably wear my jacket again after this, it would be a nice change.
That time we accidentally beat Santa to death, I've still got blood on the hat. And when questioned about it by my own mother, she went, "Why don't you wash it?" I went, "Why? It adds character. It's Santa's blood."
It's also a weird.
Yeah, I
statement
feel
to
I
say
should
for
prefix
people
this
who don't
with
have the
he was
context.
trespassing, and I don't care what anybody says about that jolly old bastard. It's trespassing. It's breaking and
We didn't know
entering
it
and
was him until it was
trespassing.
too late. To be our defense, we didn't know it was him until it was too late. Looking down,
Yeah.
going, "Oh, we just beat
But
up."
there was a
Santa."
lot of
You
fake
didn't
blood
care.
involved, and much
There
clothing
was a
was
lot of
ruined.
fake blood.
Yeah,
Well,
and a re-wallpapering involved as well in a specific part of the wall.
you were
That's
doing
really
that
cool.
anyway.
But that actually is pretty cool that they were able to do their own. Because I kind of wondered, with everybody being in separate locations, how those moments were pulled off and stuff.
Yeah, those were yeah, thankfully, I mean, a lot of it was mouth
Right.
blood. So it was that was
Actually,
nice.
what impressed me was
and then they were just able to clean themselves up.
what impressed me was the part where the call cuts to the brother James, and we haven't seen him for a bit. When he comes back in, he's looking very emaciated and skeletal. It was just like, oh, that's well done there. That looked good.
Thank you. That one I did have to. We did with COVID changing its rules. I was able to actually see him and then stay separate. I was actually in a different bedroom, filming at the same time as him, and then I would go over, make any touch-ups I needed to, and then go back on camera. So that one was shot later on. So that was easier to do then.
Came out well. Looked good.
No, was
So
thank
had you done a lot of acting before this movie, seeing as you wanted to make a movie and act?
So I actually started off in acting, growing up, in school, I did a lot of plays. And when I got to New York, I actually set out to act. But I got stuck doing mainly serving, and with the hours, I couldn't ever audition. So I thought, why don't I look at what's going on behind scenes? Because, making movies would be a really awesome
Hell
thing
yeah.
to do too. So I traveled to basically every film department except for camera. And I learned sound, a little bit of wardrobe, and just kind of got stuck into makeup, especially with effects stuff, because I had already done that with theater. I had done one play with a lot of blood, which was a lot of fun. And my sister and I always played with latex makeup for Halloween, so I thought, hey, why not? This is fun. And I did my own stuff with short films, on and off. And then I just got back into it more hardcore and thought, this is what makes me the happiest. And now I do both. And it's really fun because I don't have to, I don't feel stagnant with creativity. One day I do makeup and one day I act. So
I think when
it's
you're
really
super
fun.
creative, you kind of need multiple outlets. I don't like it. Nearly the creative brain isn't designed to stay within one category to a certain degree. You're kind of destined to wander off and start doing other things as well. The reason I was asking about the acting was because your performance in this is absolutely terrifying and gripping all at the same time. We love you. We hate you. We love you again.
I'll be honest. The only character that
I understand the hating. I do some stuff, but thank you. I really appreciate it. That means a lot to me. Yeah, it was a lot to do during the pandemic, and since I was recovering, a lot of the times my chest was hurting really bad because my chest was still inflamed from coughing and not being able to take in enough
I can
air.
imagine.
So it actually helped, and it actually made things harder at the same time. But it ended up great. We've been getting a lot of great reviews,
And deservedly so.
which,
Right, I
I'm
was
over
gonna
the
say,
moon
like,
about.
yeah.
I can't see why not. Like you put out a really good product.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, big question, and I don't want to give away anything too big. It actually is a dual-sided question, but I don't want to give anything away too big about the end. But there's a cliffhanger to the ending of the Dark Offerings that I must say I'm quite intrigued to see. Is the story going to continue with?
Thank you for pulling that up because I didn't want to be that guy. Like, I'm kind of curious too.
I think I did it without ruining any plot lines. I just said there's a.
Yeah, no, I wasn't
No.
sure how to word it, so that's what I'm saying. Like, thank you for finding the words because I was kind of curious about that myself.
You're welcome.
I would love to say yes, but I guess we'll see with the audiences if enough people want to see it. I definitely think we could probably get the funding to do that. I would love to. I'd love to tell what happens next. I actually have planned out three other movies, 2 sequels and a prequel to this.
Damn
So
right. You should never write a
if I
script
get
unless there's
to,
more scripts behind it.
great.
Yeah, very good. Very good. I love it. I'm happy to hear that. And the second part of that question is young McLeod, genuine Irishman? Yeah, because there was certain
Yes, he
Irish.
is.
Number one, the Irish accent sounded not acting Irish. It sounded like truly Irish.
There was certain phrases that got slotted in, and you were trying to be like,
Yeah, there was some like lingo that he said, and I was like, okay, that's definitely a straight up Irishman, 100%.
And like I said, once again, getting back to what I was saying earlier, I feel that if he has a similar mindset, and considering he looks like to be about the same age as myself and Johnny, he's probably thinking in his head, oh, that's just what the grandparents were like, or, you know, the couple of generations before, so just lean into that.
Don't say that's the same. He's the same age as us. That's insulting, Giz.
I said around. What's insulting about that?
We're ancient.
No, we're not.
I feel ancient.
You might, but I don't.
Oh.
Okay, fair enough.
He's a spring chicken.
Yes, thankfully he was able to make the dialogue a little bit more, what he would say. He would come up to us several times and he's like, oh, I don't think I would say this. I think, this is the lingo I would use. I'm like, oh, okay, great.
he was
Yeah,
right.
no. It really paid,
Perfect.
paid dividend. Yeah.
Good. I'll
Yeah.
let him know that.
Was this a story that came up strictly during the pandemic, or was this something that you kind of had maybe before and then just kind of brought it up?
Yeah, this was strictly the pandemic. So after I had COVID, we were discussing shooting something. The director, Marcus, wanted to shoot a short film, maybe make it about demons. I said, no, we've got the time. Let's go all the way and do a feature. So we just bullet pointed it out using, we wanted it to be about a demon. And I started writing out different characters and thought, what could we do that's, in this platform? Why would people be getting together? So, I wrote out all the characters and then we both bullet pointed it all out. And then thankfully the people that we had in mind for the parts said absolutely yes. Since
Yeah.
Helps.
everybody was at home. So it worked out perfectly. And I could not be happier with everybody's performance and how it turned out. This went above and beyond what we ever thought. I was hoping once it finished, I would put it on YouTube for everybody to watch during the pandemic. But then we started getting more buzz and it started growing bigger and bigger. And it's like, okay, now we need to color correct and sound design and add music. And it's like, oh, wow, okay, we're really doing this.
You gotta
So
love it when a plan comes
it just kept
together.
snowballing until it got to Amazon.
So you gotta love when a plan comes together.
It really did in a huge way, and I really couldn't be happier. I'm over the moon that people are liking it.
What were some of the complications you had doing it? Because with this being a movie, kind of the format of way it's done, not been done that much before? Or like, did you guys have a lot of complications?
That was basically the complication, is we didn't know anything about Zoom when we first started figuring this stuff out. And then we started talking to David, our CG guy, and he was showing us a couple of things with Zoom. And then we thought, oh, how is everybody going to film each other? So then we had to research that, and sound, how to make sound happen, because I'm right by a hospital. So all day long, ambulances are going back and forth. And thankfully, you can't hear them at all on Zoom because it centralized our voices.
Got really good noise suppression software ingrained into it.
Yeah, and that's what we found out. Because there were protests going on, too, in some of our locations. So there was so much going on around us. And it's just like, okay, this is our world. We're sticking right here.
Yeah.
So a lot of that, a lot of the concentration with the drama around us, and then just like, zoning into what's going on here between all of us, which actually was a blessing in disguise, because it just kind of kept us doing something. So, yeah.
It's kind of similar with what us is, because that's kind of when we really got started doing it, because of lockdown and stuff. I mean, Johnny and Giz had the show and stuff before in the podcast, but we really, once the pandemic, we're like, people are going to be sitting around not being able to do anything. We might as well, as entertainers, give them something to take their mind off of something for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it's definitely
like myself and Giz used to just do. We have the show on American Horrors, and we used to just do the one podcast on a Sunday a week, and then when the pandemic came in, Carter had done like other shows and stuff with us with a different company. And when the pandemic came in, I just said it to the lads that it was just like, look, we're saying we're entertainers, man, and I think people need it more now than ever. Right. So like I was like, let's do like, we tried 7 nights a week, and then that was
a terrible idea.
It was a terrible idea. So I was like, maybe if we do 3, we do 3 and we just go solid with it. So, but yeah, I think I was actually going to say I would have assumed that a lot of the cast probably nearly found it a relief to be like, hey, I'm shooting this. I know you got nothing going on at the moment. So
yeah, that's what a lot of them said. A lot of them were all by themselves too. Clifton Dunn, he was all by himself. So a lot of like the scenes of things moving, that was all him doing it himself. He didn't have anybody helping him.
Wow.
So then and Tina did have somebody with her, but yeah, pretty much the majority of the cast was all by themselves, didn't have anybody. So this was basically like their, hangout time, which was really great. And it's true. A lot of us, I feel like, got together and started saying, okay, our audience needs something, so let's create something. Which is what we were setting out to do, and it just kind of went higher than we thought.
Well, you did it in spades, in my opinion. As I said, the movie, and if anyone is on Amazon, any of our Irish viewers, obviously you're going to have to do an old VPN for your Amazon account so you can pretend you're in America while you watch it. But if you are in America on Amazon, or in England, it's on Amazon now. Yeah. And
right, and I mean, dude, it's like $1. Like, you're gonna get a really good entertainment.
I think it's included with Prime.
No.
If you have Prime.
Oh.
Yeah, it's included with Prime. So you can just go check it out. It's a bloody good movie.
I meant to say it. The professor that you have in, he's not a demonologist, but he's a professor of demonology. I had to do a double take because at first I thought it was Robert Englund. I just kind of went, what the smeg?
He does. He looks a lot like Robert Englund.
It worked.
He sent us a picture of like his wardrobe and everything, and he was doing a shoulder shrug, and he had his hair up and everything. We're like, he just looks just like Robert Englund. So it's funny you say that, because that's the whole time. That's what we were thinking. Is like, everybody's gonna think he's Robert Englund, like a younger. Robert Englund.
If they ever need someone,
that was not on purpose. It just happened.
If they ever need someone to be a younger Robert Englund, get him.
The special effects done on your younger brother in the movie, as he is drained, shall we say, a little bit more later on in the movie. Really well done. Really well done. Like, he
Thank
looked
you.
very like drawn in and emaciated, and it was very good.
Thank you. He was able to do some of his own effects with that as well, because he was able to pull in his stomach very tightly, and he did.
Oh yeah,
excellent job
it
with
looked
that.
it was really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Ben Frankenberg. He did a great job. Everybody
I-
did. They
Yeah.
they all killed
Really good
it.
job all round.
Now, obviously, like the movie's out, but like the job's not done. You still have promoting to do. You still have like now interviews and what have you. Are you just kind of like taking that time to just do this, or are you still kind of in the back of your head working on your next project?
So I've written another script that's separate from this to get out there in case somebody didn't want a sequel to this. I figured I would write another story, and that one's also a horror movie. I'm also looking at writing out this fantasy film idea that I've been mulling over as well. So it's been a little bit of everything. I've been doing interviews and working on other stuff that I wanted to write.
So you're definitely kind of
it's
keeping,
been a little bit of everything.
definitely kind of keeping the multitask active.
Yeah, I'm kind of a workaholic right
There's
now.
nothing wrong with that, man. Like that's how stuff
It
gets
just
done.
keeps going.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. I really do love it. I love the interviews. I love writing. I love acting. So thankfully, I'm loving all of it.
I think that might be us done in relation to the movie, and we won't keep you a moment too longer. Thank you very, very much for coming on the show. Thank you very much for making an
Thank
amazing
you.
movie.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Oh, thank you.
Like really, like I'm not just saying it because you're here. Like, thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. It was brilliant.
Oh, thank you. And if you ever want to talk to other cast
I'd love to have
members, I
all
know
you
that
guys in the
they're
cast back on. It'd be
definitely
great fun.
interested.
Yeah, see if we can
Yeah,
hook something
thank
up for
you.
American
We
Horror.
would
It's
love
like
it.
the viewership over on that TV station is like, that's exactly that kind of market.
And constantly
Oh,
climbing.
perfect.
Constantly climbing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we had over 5 million viewers last year,
Wow.
so
Wow, great job.
It's a-
That's
it's a
impressive.
big place.
Yeah.
So, as I said, Amazon, go check out the movie. Go buy the movie. If you don't have Amazon Prime, go purchase it. It's well worth the purchase. If you do have Amazon Prime, you don't even have to purchase it. It's included. Go watch it. It's a very, 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 very good movie. Do you have any other social media stuff you'd like to?
Yes, you can follow along any interviews or anything that we have going on either Instagram, it's the Dark Offerings 2020, or on Twitter, it's just the Dark Offerings. So both of those you can check back, or me, I'm under Elizabeth Piper E for Twitter, or Elizabeth Piper on Instagram.
Awesome. Elizabeth, thank you very much for being with us. I'll chat to you in 1 second. But first, you guys, there is a trailer for the Dark Offerings about to pop up, so you can check it out and enjoy. We'll catch you in a moment.